What's the best way to learn how to play guitar? Hello. I want to talk to you about an alternative way where you can learn how to play guitar and actually get into playing guitar artistically rather than just following the numbers that are written down in a book or on a piece of paper somewhere. I taught myself how to play drums, how to play guitar, how to play bass, because people trying to teach me just never worked out. I didn't want to learn how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. I wanted to learn how to play Inner Sandman. I wanted to learn how to play Black Sabbath. So at a young age, I decided to teach myself how to play. And to a lot of people, they may say, well, I didn't have the time, or I didn't have a guitar to learn on. That might be a fair point, but guitars are pretty cheap now. You don't need to go get a Gibson Les Paul that's $3,000 or Paul Reed Smith. You don't need that to learn how to play guitar. Granted, you do need a decent guitar, and we'll talk about that here. Whenever you're learning how to play guitar, you're going to get pissed off and fatigued and throw it away if you have a piece of shit guitar. I put it bluntly, I have no filter. It's important to find a guitar that is of value enough to actually be comfortable to play. If you go to Hastings and you get one of these, I guess Hastings is closed now. Shows how much I pay attention. But if you go anywhere and you get one of these like freaking $30 or $80 or $150 guitar kits with a guitar and an amp and everything, it's not going to work out. That guitar was not meant to actually be played as a musical instrument. It's a piece of shit. You can go get a 2x4, screw you down some guitar strings on it. It's probably going to be a better guitar than that. You can start off with Schecter. I'm not sponsored by Schecter or endorsed by them. That'd be great if I was. You can find some of these for like $300. Or you can get some cheaper alternatives. Schecter makes some cheaper alternatives. You can get the Omen 6, which you could probably find one of them for $150 used. And that's another thing. Buy your guitars used, because brand new price is just inflated and it's stupid. So buy a used guitar that's decent enough to learn how to play on. Don't buy a classical acoustic. The reason why you don't want to buy a classical acoustic is because the fretboard radius is really not. And it's going to hurt your hands. The necks are super cumbersome to play. The strings are going to be really tense and taut. It's going to hurt your hands. It's going to hurt your fingers trying to fret those chords. Get an electric guitar. Don't get an acoustic guitar. It's easier to play an electric guitar. You won't get as fatigued as you would be playing an acoustic guitar, especially a classical acoustic. So you got your guitar now. What can you expect when you're learning how to play? Well, it's going to hurt. It's like working out. You can't start running or start bench pressing and expect no pain and only results. Playing guitar hurts. It hurts your fingers. You're going to have calluses and blisters, and the skin will peel off the tip of your fingers. And you have to just keep playing. Take breaks. If your fingers are really sore, take a few days. Wait till they heal up, and then go at it again. You have to just keep going, keep playing. You have to be passionate about wanting to learn how to play. Now, should you find a guitar teacher or buy one of those books or one of those apps like, what the hell's that one that always pops up on YouTube that I hate? Musician or some shit like that? Speaking of apps, just because you can play on Guitar Hero does not make you a guitarist. So, should you get one of those apps and the books and all that? No. In my opinion, no. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of money. You can read how to do something all day long. Doesn't mean you're going to know how to do it. What you need to do is grab your guitar and pick an artist that you really enjoy. If you're serious about wanting to learn how to play and you're wanting to get into hard rock or metal or rock in general, something with down-tuned guitars, I would highly recommend picking up Breaking Benjamin's We Are Not Alone album. That's the album that I went through and learned every single song on. Now, why would you want to do that? Maybe you don't like all the songs. Doesn't matter. Going through an album, an artist, whenever they write an album, are in a very similar mindset during that whole album. So a lot of the stuff that they write has many similarities to it. It's not changing each and every time to something completely different. Sometimes albums do that, and those are stupid. But We Are Not Alone, that album is largely, if not all-inclusively, if I remember right, in the same tuning. It's in drop C, or C, G, C, F, A, D, from the low string to the high string. And if you want to tune down that low, you cannot get one of those rinky-dink guitars that are really short, or else it's going to sound horrible. When you're buying a guitar, make sure that that guitar has a minimum of a 25.5-inch scale length. Unless you get a Paul Reed Smith at a 25-inch, that'll work too. But you need scale length in order to detune. That's a mistake that a lot of people make who are getting into guitar playing. They buy a cheap guitar that has a 24.5 or a 24.75-inch scale length, and you can find the specs of any guitar that you're looking to buy. But don't buy a cheap guitar without knowing its scale length. Because if you get one that's 24 and 3/4 inch scale length, your strings are going to be really floppy. It's going to sound like shit. You're just going to get pissed off and you're going to end up putting it down. And the whole key to learning guitar is putting the implications in the right order that give you the best chance of success. If you like your guitar sounds good, your guitar plays well, you're probably going to keep playing it. As opposed to if your guitar doesn't function properly, doesn't sound very good, you can't get the same tones that those bands are playing, and the strings are really floppy and it's hard to play, you're probably going to put it down. So go through Breaking Benjamin's We Are Not Alone album and learn every single song. Now the reason I picked that album is whenever I was listening to it, I noticed that there was a lot of similarities in the songs. A lot of the songs have the same landings of the notes that Ben played and wrote on his guitar. And by doing that, you will learn how a drop tuning is structured, where the notes fall in place that sound good. You can think to yourself, okay, well, this song goes from an open fret to the 8th fret a lot. You know, the chorus to Breaking Benjamin's So Cold, Blow Me Away, Follow You, or is it Follow Me? Follow You, Follow song, and Breath, or Breathe. Breath or Breathe. I don't know. Those 4 songs, Breath, Breathe, whatever, Blow Me Away, So Cold, and Follow You, Follow Me, whatever, all have very, very similar chord progression. And if you learn how to play those, you can see how the structure of a detuned guitar works. And you'll begin to get an understanding of where the frets and fingerings lie on the notes. And from there you can experiment. From there you can grow and learn. And it's not a very fast process. If you're wanting to learn guitar and be a master guitarist in like 30 days, not going to happen. It takes time and it takes dedication and it takes patience. But it's worth it. Whenever you get to the point where you know a song well enough that you don't have to think about it, you just sit there and you sit in the song and you're playing it, it's a beautiful feeling. And then you can take that experience and start writing your own songs. Start blending some of those notes together. And if you want to learn how to play in standard tuning, which with that you can get a 24 and 3/4 inch scale guitar, learn how to play Metallica. Metallica plays in standard tuning mostly, which is E, A, D, G, B, E, from the lowest string to the highest. And playing Metallica will teach you how a standard tuning works and how it's set up. Because there's multiple types of tunings, but the primary ones are a standard tuning and a drop tuning. Which if you learn Metallica and you learn Breaking Benjamin's We Are Not Alone album, you'll gain an understanding of the difference between those pretty quickly. But the key is to just keep learning. Keep playing the songs and find the right notes. And if you have to do it a string at a time, do it that way. Watch videos of people playing those songs and look at their fretting hand. Look at where their hand is landing on the fretboard. And you'll see the significance of the ring finger landing on a G string, which is 2 frets above the rest. You'll see why the ring finger gets moved up a string to make like a minor chord. And you don't have to understand the theory of music to be a guitarist. Actually, many guitarists don't understand the theory of music. I can't read music myself. So don't worry about any of that. Just worry about the sounds. Worry about the notes, the tones, just playing the song. Because all the little details you can get lost in forever and you'll never get anywhere. So if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. If you want to learn more about me or the life behind a musician, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and now Snapchat at Stenosis Music. If you want to get a little closer in the Stenosis Society and see some behind the scenes stuff, add me on Snapchat. You can send me stuff on there too if you want. And I'll see you next time.